Wagner, ball handling abilities that are the best on the court. Stunning little lay-in with the left.
Inside the attack, Wagner back off to Nelson.
Finds Jackson, gets to the middle, dribble penetration. Joel Wagner, the veteran, gets the roll.
And Mr. Wagner comes up with the rebound.
Sure, they're channeling that aggression properly. The Redbacks, Gatorno found Wagner, who gives it back to Gatorno.
Redbacks, one final say. Can the captain finish it off?
Respectful there from Joel Wagner.
What a last quarter from the Perth Redbacks. That was something special, and I hope you enjoyed it.
It was pretty surreal. Never really had expectations to go to that level, and all I did was went and rocked up to a bit of extra training with the Wildcats. They were short on numbers with a new coach in Rob Beveridge, and didn't think anything was going to come of it. I was just doing the right thing and putting my face out there. And I remember Worley called me on a Wednesday night, and yeah, he just offered me a development player spot, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was so surprised and obviously ecstatic, and made a bunch of phone calls, and it was all exciting from there. Well, I mean, it's hard to look past the being a part of the NBL Championship for the Cats. First one in a while in 09 and 10, and not a big part of it, but got to be kitted up in that final game of the season for Game 3 against Wollongong and be a big part of the celebrations, and had a good time. Probably the moment I remember after that is getting signed to the Sydney Kings the following season. I did the full pre-season with the Wildcats and was doing quite well. Built my body up, and then got the call with an injury replacement to go to Sydney, and was on a plane the next day on a Saturday, and then playing within a week. So that first game was in Sydney, was like an out-of-body experience. Really had to fake it till you make it sort of thing, and act like I was confident, but I was pretty damn nervous in that first game. I just remember feeling really out of my depth. I had 4 guards ahead of me. I had Amir Roof, Austin Bruton, Adam Johnston and Wade Horwood, and they were all really well-established guards in the competition. And I just thought, geez, I've got a long way to go. But the stars sort of aligned a couple of times throughout that year, and probably my fondest memory is just getting to kit up for that first game. I've been to so many SBL games as a kid and watched some of my heroes play, and then I got to play alongside them in that first game, and yeah, it was unbelievable. A couple of things spring to mind about that 2017 year. I remember there was probably a turning point weekend for us earlier in the season. We had a doubleheader against Geraldton and Willetton, and we really needed both of those games, and both of them were tough. We got the 2 wins, and I think that's when we really felt like we were a good sniff for that year. We felt like things were coming together. A couple more things. The other thing is just that moment when I got subbed out of the game to finish that grand final. I couldn't relax that whole game. I don't really remember the game at all. I think I was in a different place focus-wise. So to be able to finally relax, and I think we're up quite a bit late in the game, and I was still yelling at everyone, still super urgent. So I could finally let my hair down and relax. But what was most special about it was a couple of very close mates in Ben Smith, Michael Vigor, great coach in Nick Lakovic, and then most of all doing it alongside my brother Jack. It's pretty special and something that I won't forget. I mean, it's pretty hard to go past being the championship captain, one of our championship captains at the club. It's a pretty small group of people that get to say that. So yeah, that's probably the top achievement, I would say. I mean, the Redbacks has always taken care of me, always made me feel welcome. I've said it previous interviews and stuff before, but always felt super welcome. They were the reason I got to go to a different school and pursue sport a bit harder. You know, they gave me a job. I got all the jobs that I've had through contacts at the basketball club. So when they say it's a community club, you know, it really is. If you get to know people and stuff, you can really go places from it. And probably the thing that I relate to the most though is I feel like we've got a bit of an underdog mentality at our club. It's not about having shiny stadiums and all that sort of stuff. It's probably more about the people, and I think that really shows. I mean, when they first told me they were going to retire my jersey, I have to admit I felt a bit like a bit of an imposter in a way. It sounds crazy. I know I've played lots of games, but there is other players that are just as worthy that I've idolised growing up. So yeah, I felt a bit strange at first, but I spoke to my wife Katie, and she said, you know, maybe this will be the catalyst for them to recognise a bit more of history and previous players as well, and she said it's a great thing. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm very proud, obviously, that I'll get to see my number hanging up there on the rafters every single night. And yeah, it's just a nice time to reflect and hopefully link up with a lot of people on Friday night. Whoops. There's a long list of people that have obviously had a huge impact on me here at the Redbacks, but if I can just go to the coaches, probably the one that believed in me the most from the get-go was David Harris. He was my coach in under 14s, a young coach, and straight away put the ball in my hands and made me feel like I was a superstar, even though all I could do was run really fast and shoot left-hand layups and pass the ball. Nothing really changed. So yeah, Dave, and then he was actually one of my first SBL coaches after Nick had me those first couple of years as well. So he's been a major part of my development as a player and as a bloke, and I can't thank him enough. And obviously Nick Lakovic as well. He was my first coach for SBL in 04 and 05, and then obviously we got to win a championship together in 17 and share a lot of time together. So he was the same thing, always backed me, always made me feel like I was a superstar. He's been pretty public about that as well, so I can't thank those two enough.